Hey there, everybody. Today we're going to talk about my medical history, because there have been lots of people who've been like either completely missing it or uh, wondered about it and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that to better understand my situation and my life, it's good if I go through my medical history, and I'll try to be as accurate as I can, because some of these things go back a long time. But let's start when I was around, I think I was between 13 and 16 years old. And then we went to, as a kid, you don't really have a normal psychiatric evaluation. So you have to go through something that's for kids called BUP. In Swedish, it's called BUP. I don't know what it's in other languages. But yeah, so that's like a place we went to, and they did some tests on me, and they said, well, you basically suffer from depression, and I think it was they gave me ADD, and yeah, I think that's about it by then. So that's just something they stapled on me, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to tell. Overall, I was pretty fine back then. I didn't really have any big issues or anything. But later on, when I started losing weight and I eated better and I was healthier and stuff, I started having chest pains. Wait, let's see. Around this area. And I was really paranoid that it was my heart. So we did lots of, they signed me up for a heart check and everything. And it turned out I had it's a form of a muscle disease called Tietz something, I don't know. But it's like your muscles are inflamed, and yeah, it can sometimes just hurt randomly. It comes and goes. Sometimes it hurts a lot, sometimes it's just an inconvenience. And that's something that can be curable, but it can also be chronicle, that comes and goes, and for me it's really chronicle, so that's something I've been having my entire life. But that's a very you can touch it and it hurts, so it's like a very physical pain, so it's not really a big thing. Let's see. And yeah, when I was done with that, when I was going to school, then I was still a kid, I was going to school and I always missed classes all the time, and to be honest, that was basically because I was just lazy and fat. But yeah, I always pulled my stomach hurts and I just could skip school a few times, so yeah, that wasn't really the wisest thing to do, but for me it was like, yay, no school. Back then it was really nice just being home and not having to go to class, and that entire ordeal. I'm sure some of you have done that as well at one point or another, just taken any excuse not to go to school or just skipping it altogether. But yeah, let's see. I then got old enough that I couldn't go to BUP anymore, and they put me on a real psychic hospital. What's it called? I went to a real psychiatric, and I don't know, I sound bad at English, my vocabulary is terrible. But yeah, I got a real test, and they made a full analysis of me, and they found out that I have, what's it called? Have a, damn it, so long ago, how to say it in English? I have a low work focus or something like that. My energy levels are lower than they should be. They're on 25% back then. I don't know what they are at now, but basically I can't really do something for a long time of duration without getting completely messed up in my head. That was one thing. What more did I find? They also said that I had Asperger's, but they only put it on one single thing, and that's because I have a really hard time keeping eye contact with people when I talk to them. So afterwards I'm just doing this, or not knowing what to do with myself, and they were like, yeah, that's enough. That's an Asperger's symptom, so let's put it on him. And so So yeah, that's something they gave me. And yeah, basically then I couldn't handle getting to my new school. I finished elementary, and I went to a gymnasium to finish my grades and just basic studying. And it was like an hour. It took like an hour to get there, and that drive completely wore me out every single time. So I was basically just a zombie, and I just basically stopped skipping school totally. And we had a meeting, and I explained how I was feeling and how everything was going, and how I started having these chest issues. And they said, well, we're gonna put you on like, what's it called, LSS or whatever it is. So that's when I started getting the sick. I was sick written. They sick written me for, I think it was 1 or 2 years the first time, and I got the LSS thingy from the government, and they put me on things. I had to still do things. I had to get to a specific work location and work, like practice working once a week, and I had to go to work education thingy. It was kind of, I don't really remember much of it, but I didn't get much things done. But that's how it was. And then we were gonna move, so they were like, okay, let's postpone everything, and we're just gonna wait until you've moved and you're in your new county, and we're gonna move over all the things there. And so we moved, and I was doing decently fine back then. I was in good health. That's when I lived in the cabin for 4 months or so. I was just exercising, and back then I drank a lot, and I just had fun. I was feeling fine. Everything was okay. And yeah, then we moved, and I waited for years and years because they didn't send over the files. We called them, and they said that they sent them over, and they ended up in the wrong places, and everything took so long time. So I was basically just home and just without an activity, and nobody could really do anything. The county we moved to is in Dalarna, and everything here is 100 times lower than they are in Stockholm. So just getting a simple appointment is like up to a 2 months wait sometimes. And yeah, it was just, I think it was like 1 to 2 years before they fixed it out. And I was still doing decently fine. It was more stable. I was a lot healthier. I could move properly. I took a 60-hour, not 60-hour, damn, that would be crazy, a 60-minute walk every morning and every evening. So it was 2 hours, and I was working out, and I was decently positive and stuff. But then it was one Christmas. Let's see, how was it exactly? It was like I've had a thing my entire life. It's really rare, and it doesn't happen often, but it happens sometimes. And I can't identify what it is or where it's happening, but it is like something goes like this somewhere in my chest area or belly. I don't know what it is. It's like a muscle contraction or whatever. I have no idea what it is. It's really uncomfortable, and when that happens, it's like someone punches me in the gut or something, like lose all my energy, and it's really uncomfortable. And I remember it was like New Year's, and it's happened one time at the night, and it happened like 3 times in a row, and that totally messed me up. Like I got totally paranoid and crazy out of that. And we went to the emergency hospital for it, and they couldn't find anything as usual, and they just sent me home. And ever since that happened, I've been like it stuck with me for like a week. I couldn't do anything at all. I basically just lay down, and it was like a feeling that kept getting worse and worse and worse. And I believe now, thinking back at it, it was a form of shock, and that shock made me, I got constipated. I felt more ill and ill. I lost all my energy. Like all the things I worked up to, all my muscles disappeared really fast. I was completely paralyzed for a duration of like 2 months. I couldn't even move out of bed or anything. I had no energy. Everything hurt, and I don't know what it was. Like nobody knew what it was, and they didn't really want to help me that much. They gave me constipation medicines and stuff like that. But we're like, well, that's the only thing we know what it can be. So yeah, but that year was a really slow recovery year, and yeah, wait, what happened then? I think that entire year I just struggled with getting rid of this, and that's when I started developing breathing issues, and it was like really tough to do anything at all. But it got a little better during the time. I got more used to it. What more happened? I remember I was sleeping sometimes in the living room because bad sleeping routines and stuff. I've always had trouble with my sleep, but my night cycle was upside down, and I didn't want to wake up my ex when we were still living together. So I slept in the living room, and I remember this one time I lay down, and there was something in my back neck or throat that just completely snapped out of place, and I started suffocating, and it was like a stone was in my throat. So we went to the emergency again, and they did an X-ray, and they said that we can't find anything. So basically, yeah, I was stuck with this. It's like a lump in my throat feeling, and I've had that for ever since that happened. I have it still now today, and that's something that's never gone away, and no one knows what it is, and no one really cares to investigate it either. But yeah, that's how that happened. And now for maybe 2 to 3 years, I've been just getting used to this, improving myself. And let's see. Yeah, so I think it was last year, after I broke up with my ex, and I've been it's close to 1.5 years now that I've been alone. But I've developed even heavier breathing issues, and it's been like the thing in my throat is really like every time I exaggerate myself, like when I work or when I exercise, it just like lumps together, and I can't really breathe. And every doctor, everyone are saying like we can't find anything. It's probably something we can't really do something. And like the thing is, it's not just one doctor. I've been to the emergency roughly 7 to 8 times the past 4 or 5 years. I've done at least, without, this isn't an exaggeration, I've done at least 100 blood samples, at least. Like both my arms were completely destroyed with needle shots. Like, what more? I've changed hospital 3 times, and I've had maybe more than 10 different doctors, because like they always, after they make tests, they're like, we don't see any, we can't help you. And it's so frustrating when you feel that you're not feeling well, and you go to a doctor and you tell them, look, I'm not feeling well, just put me up for a specialist. I want to get tested, help me get tested. And they just say, no, we're not gonna do that. So I've been switching until I found a doctor, and I finally did find a doctor like last year, and he put me up on some tests. So they did X-ray on my throat. What more did they do? They sent me to a throat specialist, and the people at the throat specialist was like, yeah, there is something wrong with your throat, but we don't see how it's like life-threatening or immediate danger. It's more like something you will have to get used to, because there is no fix. So yeah, what more did I do? What more have I done? I have been I went to a muscle expert, like one of those, what's it called? Those that have like to do with your muscles and like how your shape and all that. They said that like yeah, whatever, basically. So no, let's see. The latest thing is I went to my doctor, and they were like, the only thing that we can really establish is that you have an oversensitive body due to all the years of inactivity and all that, so that you're extra sensitive to everything. That's why you can feel every single heartbeat, and why everything is really uncomfortable and stuff. So I was like, okay, fine. This is the point where I don't give a shit anymore. So I'm like, it doesn't matter how like bad I feel, how uncomfortable it is, how tough it is. I just said fuck it, and I just started working out, and that's what I've been doing now for like 2 months, I think, something like that, 1-2 months. And I've just pushed myself, and it's not really getting any better, to be honest, but I'm getting a little bit better. It's like, I remember when I was younger, like when I was 20 to 23, and I had like a month of inactivity where I was mostly just gaming and doing stuff. And then if I decided to pick up the exercises, and I went out and I walked, or I picked the heavy lifts or anything when I started working out, I had an increase in everything. Like I could walk easier, I could bike easier, I could lift more, I got stronger, I had more energy. Even though it wasn't super much, it was an increase. But now whenever I do something, it's like the same. I'm not getting better at all. I'm like stuck. So I'm still doing it. I'm switching up my diet a lot. I'm just trying to do my best as well as I can without the pains and uncomfortabilities and suffocation gets to me. So that's what I'm doing right now. And recently, in my latest video, let's see, I pointed out that my throat thing, that's like a theory I have, because I've always had huge sharp pains and headaches when I breathe through my nose during a longer period of time. So I'm always breathing mostly through my mouth, which is like very, people have pointed that out. But yeah, I took that up with my doctor, and he was like, we haven't found anything wrong with you, so we don't really care, basically. But I managed to ask him really, really nicely and consistently, and he finally put me on a really low priority doctor examination for my nose. So they're going to check, because apparently I may have a deviant septum or whatever that is. But that's gonna be checked up, and knowing the low priority queue, it's gonna take at least half a year to a year. And they have put me up to a psychology test again. And that's the funny thing. Like there was a period where at one of the hospitals where they were like, we can't find anything wrong with you. Basically, they were like, there's nothing wrong with you, so we're gonna send you to the psychologist. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, just give me some form of help. I just want to know what's wrong with me. And they sent me to a psychologist, and we had a conversation with the head psychologist I got, and he did some tests, asked some questions, and he said, dude, this sounds like you need to go to the hospital for this. This is not psychological at all. And I was like, really? So they sent me back to the hospital, and they were like, this sounds like it's psychiatrical. So now I'm back at waiting to get back to the psychiatric thingy. And they're gonna hopefully put me up for something called, what's it called? I don't even remember, but it's like a place where they have both a psychiatrist, a doctor, and someone that checks like your muscles and all that, and they're gonna like make like a full investigation. So that's like the hopes right now, in hope that they can find whatever is wrong with me, unless it's nothing wrong with me. But it's kind of odd if there really isn't anything wrong with me, because I'm really not doing well. But yeah, I'm breathing through my nose. Gotta remember that. It's a tough thing to get used to. Anyway, is there anything more to my medical history that I can remember? I don't think there is, to be honest. I think that's basically all. So right now I'm just trying to suck it up and just improve myself as much as I can. Hopefully it will get better eventually. Sadly, it's still winter outside, so there's not much I can do. I'm really, I can't really handle the cold that much, so I'm basically stuck at home. But I do have my treadmill. I'm trying to do, I can tell you my exercises that I'm doing currently. I'm doing between 10 to 20 minutes really fast-paced walks on the treadmill. It's a good start. I'm doing a form of cardio exercise every day. Let's see. I lift, I can show you these actually. I have 2 of these. These are 4 kilos. So 2 of those that I heavy lift every day. And I do a pair of reps of every possible thing that I can, exercising reps. I also try to exercise my back by doing planking, and I still wear my posture fixer here and there, trying to improve. I'm trying to get the thing where every morning I do, like, the first thing in the morning I do is sit-ups, and I'm starting the day with vitamins, and this video is getting 20 minutes long and turning into a ramble, so we're gonna just end it here. And I hope that my medical history and everything has been firmly somewhat explained, even though it's a very unorganized mess of a video. But I hope you guys enjoy this, and let you know a little bit more about me and my situation, and why I haven't been able to do certain things. Oh yeah, there is one more thing that I should have taken up, and that would explain a few things. My form of depression is a very weird burnout depression, if you say it like that. So it's not like I'm going around and being really mopey. It's more like I have a difficulty getting certain things done. And a perfect example would be a thing I can't really forget because it was really silly. But I had 2 weeks, 2 weeks on me to do, what was it? I should just fill in a paper, and I should send a text. I should just send a text to my one of my workers. I have like an assistant that's helping me sort things out. And I had 2 weeks to do this. And I knew I could do it. I should have done it. But it's like something hinders you from doing it. It's like, it's easy to just go and do it, but I can't, because I don't know why. It's like I want to do it. I feel motivated to doing it, and I'm thinking about it, but it's not getting done, because somewhere it feels like it's pointless. So it's like, sometimes I just have a very difficult time getting things done. And that's why sometimes certain things take a long time for me to do. But yeah, that was the last thing I should have said now. I think that's everything that covers all. But yeah, now you know, hopefully enough. And if there are any more questions, you can message me on my Discord, or you can write them in the comment section, although if they won't get very high up, and if I get to many comments, I'm probably not going to be able to read them, sadly. But yeah, that's all. And I hope you guys have a good week and a good day. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.